Hi friends, welcome to today's morning yoga flow. This is an energizing and nourishing sequence to help us reconnect with our inner state of peace and well-being. Let's begin. Gift yourself the space to find a comfortable seated position. You might like to join me in diamond pose, perhaps closing the eyes. Beginning to notice what's going on in the body for you today. Noticing where the mind is. Knowing that there's no right or wrong here. Simply allowing yourself to become aware, to become present. You might like to guide your awareness to the breath, noticing where the breath manifests for you today. And gently reminding yourself that the breath is always here as an anchor to guide you lovingly to the present moment. Taking one more loving breath in this posture. And on your next inhale, raising the arms overhead, joining the palms together. Exhale, lower the palms to heart center. And again, inhale. Exhale. Once more. And from here, interlacing your fingers together behind the back, lengthening the arms, broadening the heart space, gazing up. And on your exhale, folding forwards as though you were coming into child's pose, keeping the arm bind. Imagining as though you can guide your fingertips overhead towards the earth, feeling a beautiful release in the upper back, the shoulders. Inhale, raise. Guide the bind around to the left side of your waist, lowering the right ear to the right shoulder. You might like to create some gentle half moon shapes with the head and the neck. Rolling from shoulder to shoulder. Inhale, re-extend the arms, gaze up, and guide your hands round to the right. This time lowering your left ear to the left shoulder. And again, finding any organic movement with the head and the neck that feels nourishing. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, forward fold, child's pose with the bind. One breath here. Staying in child's pose, we'll release the bind and gently place our palms down on the mat, extending the arms out in front, giving yourself permission to surrender. Breathing into the back body, seeing if you can relax the hips. Keeping the arms as they are. Inhale, roll up into cat pose. Exhale, sink the hips back, child's pose. And again, inhale, cat pose, round the spine. Exhale, child's pose. A few more times. Really mobilizing the spinal column here. Imagining as though you're a wave in the ocean, gently ebbing and flowing to your own rhythm. On your next inhale, we'll meet in tabletop position and we'll take a traditional cat and cow. Inhale, lower the belly, gaze up. Exhale, curl and round, press into the palms, chin to chest, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose, spinal extension. Exhale, spinal flexion. A few more times, keeping the pelvis stable. Great job. Meeting in tabletop. Ground down through the right palm. Inhale, raise the left arm skywards. Exhale, thread the needle. Guide the left arm between the right arm and the right leg. You might like to find a bind with your right arm, placing the right palm between the left thigh and the left hip crease. Coming into twisted child's pose, Vasisthasana. Gently resting on the left side of your face, the left shoulder. Again, seeing if you can keep those hips squared. Noticing if they begin to sway out to one side, and simply returning them to the midline. Mindfully returning to a tabletop position. One breath here. And we'll take twisted child's pose on the other side, finding your variation of this stretch. Allowing your heart to melt towards the earth. Breathe. One more breath. When you're ready, returning to a tabletop position. From tabletop, tucking the left toes under, extending the left leg back. Inhale, engage the core and float the left leg up to hip height, keeping that foot flexed. The toes and the kneecap are facing towards the earth, either staying here or extending your right arm out in front, palm facing towards the midline, coming into bird dog. Feeling your fingertips reaching forward as you push your heel backwards, really lengthening the entire body here. One more breath. Coming into Virasthasana tiger pose, grabbing the medial edge of the left ankle with the right arm, finding a beautiful back bend, a lovely heart opener. This is a great way to stretch the hip flexors. One more breath. Re-extend the arms and the legs, bird dog, and gently return to tabletop. Well done. Keeping the right arm and the right leg grounded, pivot to the left, extending the left leg, raising the left arm, coming into a supported side plank, a variation of Vasisthasana. And on our inhale, we'll float the leg up and lower it down. Raise and lower. Lift and lower, raising the leg to hip height and lowering down with control. You might choose to tap your big toe down on the earth or keep the leg elevated, it's up to you. Really switching on the core muscles here, imagining as though you can glue your belly button to the spine to really protect the lower back. On your next inhale, keep that top leg up and pulse. This time the foot is flexed. Small pulses, ever so slightly, raising and lowering that leg a few centimeters. Softening the facial features, keep the leg up and hold. Breathe. And gently release. Well done. Returning to tabletop. Setting up right away to go on the right, tucking the right toes under, extending the right leg. You might like to shift the hips forwards and backwards slightly, and when you're ready, floating that right leg up, turning on the hamstrings and the glute max to really help you lift that leg. Extending the left arm, bird dog, feeling yourself growing longer. One more breath in bird dog. And from here, coming into your variation of tiger pose. This is a beautiful way to open the shoulders as well. Breathe. One more breath. Mindfully release, returning to tabletop, pivoting to the right as we set up for supported side plank, finding your variation. Inhale, lift, and exhale, lower, raising that top leg to hip height and lowering down with control. This is a great way to strengthen the abdominals, particularly the obliques, as well as the gluteus medius. You might be feeling it in that left leg just after we've worked it, so be compassionate with yourself. Send your breath to the regions where you are feeling sensation. You can do this. Keep the leg up and pulse, keeping the foot flexed this time, small pulses. Really visualizing a channel of energy flowing freely through your body here. Keep the leg up and hold. Breathe. Can you lift that leg a little higher? Last few. And release. Excellent work. From here, coming into child's pose. One more breath in child's pose. And on your next inhale, coming up into tabletop, tenting up onto the fingertips, engaging the core and guiding the left foot between the palms. Raising the arms overhead, Anjaneyasana, keeping the hips squared, either staying low or extending the right leg as you raise the hips. You might like to create a slight back bend, broadening across the heart space. Keeping that front knee aligned with the ankle. Returning the palms to heart center and mindfully lowering the back knee down. Well done. Coming into a kneeling position. Inhale, raise the arms skywards. Exhale, lower the palms to heart center. And again. Reconnecting with the breath. And returning to tabletop position, we'll go on the other side, this time setting up for Anjaneyasana with the right leg in front. Either staying low or tucking the back toes under, extending the back leg, raising the hips. Breathe, gaze up. And gently lower the back knee down, palms to heart center, returning to a kneeling position. Inhale, raise the arms skywards. And from here we'll come into Camel Pose, placing your palms behind the sacral region of your spine, reaching the arms back to grab a hold of both heels, pushing the hips forwards to keep the pelvis aligned with the knees, relaxing the glutes. One more breath. And gently returning to a seated position, lowering down into child's pose. Well done. For this variation, you might like to extend the arms the length of the body, having the palms facing skywards, breathing into the back body. From here, tabletop, tucking the toes under, downward facing dog. It might feel nice to pedal out the legs, bending one knee at a time, straightening the other. And in your own time, finding stillness. Inhale, float the left leg up, three-legged dog. From here, bending the left knee, guiding it to the chest, and placing your left foot down on the outer edge of the hands, coming into lizard pose, Vasisthasana. You might like to extend your back leg for a more challenging variation, perhaps lowering down onto the forearms. And if it's in your practice, externally rotating the front hip, maybe raising the arm overhead, really leaning into what feels right for you. If a static posture is feeling a little bit too challenging right now, you're always welcome to shift the hips forwards and backwards slightly. Make this practice your own. When you're ready, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise the right leg, three-legged dog. Bend the right knee, guide it towards the chest as we set up for lizard posture on the other side. Knowing that you can always drop the back knee down or keep the leg extended and elevated, it's up to you. Recognizing that the posture might feel a little different between the two sides, knowing that that's okay. Giving yourself permission to be as you are in this very moment. Mindfully returning to downward facing dog. Shortening the stance slightly, we'll guide the right arm to the left ankle, coming into a beautiful spinal twist. If possible, keeping the legs extended. Swapping sides, this time grabbing the right ankle with the left hand. Breathe. Gently releasing, and we'll close practice today in child's pose. Beginning to reconnect with the breath. Allowing yourself to slow down, become present, become at ease. Recognizing your efforts for showing up here today. Congratulating yourself for giving yourself the space to nourish the mind, the body, and the soul. Knowing that the benefits of this practice will be with you throughout the course of your day. Knowing that you can return to this practice as often as you like. Reminding yourself that the opportunity to dwell in a state of peace and happiness is only ever the next breath away. Thank you all so much for joining this yoga practice. May you experience true peace and joy. Namaste.